Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode. Well, actually, it's the first episode of the Boba Fett podcast. It's the first episode of the Boba Fett podcast. Sorry about that. Trying to get my system set up. I had to sign in under a completely different name for it. So, Boba Fett, the podcast of Boba Fett, episode 1 is about to start. Oh boy, I gotta switch my. Oh, what is happening there? I gotta fix my camera there. I don't know why it's doing that. Give me 1 second. Let's see, filter. Gotta love stuff like this, right? When I guess we could do gain a little. No, that's not what I wanted. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone is doing well this evening. Color correction, scale, scroll. Nope, that's not it. I don't know what to do with that. Hopefully it goes away. It's like blown out big time. It's still bad. What's going on, Mo? What's going on, Sean? What's up, Stealth? What's going on, Prince? Wait 1 second. Why is it so... I guess if I move up a little bit, I have no idea what's going on there. It wasn't like this earlier. That's annoying. There we go. I guess. Not really liking that, but hey. Configure video. There we go. I guess that's as good as we're getting it, I guess. All right, that's gonna annoy the shit out of me, but we'll see what happens. It's getting better. We'll deal with that. That's fine. Metal plate in your head? I know, right? Like I don't understand what's going on here. It's like I don't understand why it's so bright when the light's not even on me. But hey, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. So how's everyone doing? Everyone get a chance to watch the Book of Boba Fett? I hope so. If not, you're going to be in for a treat because you're going to get spoiled and whatnot. You're going to get spoiled. I'm attacking this from 2 sides. The Star Wars vet / the newcomer. Oh my God, what is happening with this? I don't know what's happening. It's got to be the green screen, right? Like bouncing off my head. Like, what is happening here tonight? Let's see. That's that. That's the brightness. That's not. That's not going to do anything. That's making it worse. There we go. There we go. There we go. Fantastic. My goodness. All right. Let's start over now, shall we? Welcome to the podcast of Boba Fett. If you guys don't know, we've been doing this for Disney Plus shows since the Mando season 1. We did season 2, we did season 1, we did season 2 back in the day. And now we did all the Disney Plus shows for the Marvel shows. And now we're doing it for the Star Wars show. I wasn't going to cover Boba Fett because of my passion for Star Wars. And I didn't like what they did with Gina Carano. But I decided that I wanted to cover it because I want to watch it. I want to give it a fair shake for what it is. And so on this show, what we're going to do, we're going to have spoiler alert across the whole episode here, right? So if you have not watched the Book of Boba Fett episode 1, you do not want to be a part of this conversation. Unless you don't care about that type of stuff, then by all means, come on in, enjoy the show, be a part of the conversation. I do have a couple of settings. So I do have chat that should appear over here. Let me make sure it's on the right. Let's see, upload images when not showing. Okay, so chat, hit up some chat up there. Let me see if it starts to pop up on the screen here, because this is the first time we're using these sources and whatnot. Let me see if it's all working correctly for you guys. There it is. There it is. So fantastic. So you guys are part of it. We can see it happening on the screen. Now, questions. If you guys have questions about the episode or whatnot, I might not get to them all, but we will have a section after I go through the episode to talk about it. So just make sure. So we're gonna go over the stuff first, and then we'll bring you guys in. So let's get started. I have to say, I liked the first episode, so much so that I actually predicted it over a year ago. When they showed the end sequence of The Mandalorian, in The Mandalorian at the end, when they showed Boba Fett and Fang come into Jabba's palace, I literally predicted what this show was going to be. I said that they're going to flush out the character as far as what happened in The Mandalorian leading up to his appearance in Mandalorian, which that hasn't happened yet. I said they're going to show how he escapes from the Sarlacc pit, which they did. I said that they were going to show how he joins the Tusken Raiders, which they're doing. So there's a bunch of stuff that they've done in this. So I was spot on. What they were doing. It starts up, it opens up with Jabba's palace, and then it starts to pan through the entire palace, and you can see that it's completely empty. And then it comes across a Bacta tank, and you see Boba Fett inside the Bacta tank, and then it starts to have a dream sequence, which I also said that they would actually go back with the flashbacks, a dream sequence and flashbacks of him to kind of like set the tone, just in case people are like, I don't know who Boba Fett is. Oh yeah, it's that kid that was from the prequels. Okay, when he picked up his father's head. Those of you that don't know, Boba Fett is a clone, was one of the clones, but he was Jango Fett's son, those of you that don't know that. He looks the exact same as all the clone troopers because that's what DNA they use for it. Once it shows Boba as a kid, after Mace Windu sliced off his father's head, it's interesting to show why they show. It's interesting to me why they showed that scene for some reason, right? To do a flashback of that is kind of like out of nowhere for some reason, because it's like, why would you show that if there wasn't some sort of back burner question in the back of your head of why Boba Fett is thinking about the nightmare of his father. Obviously, if he's showing a nightmare of his father, of his head being chopped off, and he grew up all these years doing what he's doing, he's probably looking for Mace Windu because he doesn't know Mace Windu's dead, right? And as we all know, Mace Windu isn't dead. Mace Windu jumped out the window, but that's another conversation because he's a badass MFer for Jedi, and so he is, I believe, still alive. And I think that will play in some way, shape, or form moving forward. Okay, so then they do show what I thought they would show, which is Boba inside the Sarlacc pit. Okay, Mace is coming back. I'm telling you, Reese, you think I'm lying? They're gonna make some sort of they're gonna make some case for it, right? They're gonna make some case for it. He's gonna come out and he's gonna find him. He's going to find him. He's going to pay somebody to find him and know where he is because now he's big time, right? He's going to become the lord of this area, and he's going to get it. Mephisto saved him. That's right. Okay. He's in the Sarlacc pit, and then he kind of wakes up. Not kind of wakes up. He wakes up. He's in the Sarlacc pit, and all of a sudden he puts his lights on. He sees a stormtrooper over there, and the acid's like devouring him and whatnot. He grabs the air supply from them, gets a little breath of air while he's in the Sarlacc pit, and then launches his flamethrower, just like all Mandalorians use. I think Mando used it in every single episode, if I'm not mistaken. And then all of a sudden, he comes through and breaks out of the Sarlacc pit, and we see it. And this is a big moment in Star Wars history, because before this, yes, it was in the comics and it was in a book and stuff, but they never showed it in cinematic form. So this is the form that we see him actually escaping the Sarlacc pit, which is big news, and this is how we wanted to see it, right? I said it way back when, over a year ago. I was like, oh man, I really hope they show how he escapes from the Sarlacc pit. Now, here's the problem I have with the timeline here, okay? Maybe you guys can explain it to me in chat. Maybe you can explain it to me in the comments section down below if you're watching this after the fact. Okay. The timeline is that, if I'm not mistaken, the Mando show takes place 5 years after Return of the Jedi. Okay. It takes 5 years after Return of the Jedi. He's in the Sarlacc pit, and obviously the ship is still not smoking after it blew up, so it's been some time has passed, but they don't tell you how long he's been in the stomach of that Sarlacc pit. I guess I could look it up and see how long it takes to digest through the Sarlacc. Okay. But we don't actually know how long he's actually been in the pit. Okay. He breaks out. He starts to crawl, right? He starts to look up in the hot, sunny sand day, and he passes out. He didn't go that far from the pit, right? And all of a sudden, the crawler, not the sand people, the Jawas, a sand crawler comes up, and they find him, and they peel his armor off of him, and then put it inside the sandcrawler. Okay, leave him there after they beat his ass, showing that the Jawas, are just a bunch of scumbags. Is what they are, really, taking cheap shots at people when they're down on their luck. So they take his armor, leave him bare out in the middle of the thing. So now he knows that the Jawas have his armor. Okay, time passes by. The next day, I would assume, right? Because he got out of the pit. It goes to night. Okay, so he was only in the desert for a couple of hours, maybe a full day. The Jawas find him in the night. And then the next day, maybe a couple days. Okay, we're talking days here. The Sand people, the Tusken Raiders, come out and find his body there, and they pick him up after they beat him up, but still a little bit more, and they take him as a hostage, and they move across, right? They take him and start dragging his ass across the desert. At this point, this is where I'm confused, okay? So 5 years after Return of the Jedi, he comes out of the pit, and this is literally days after he gets out of the pit. So how long was he in that pit for? Right? Any guesses? Any guesses on how long he was in the pit? I don't know. But it seems maybe, I'll give it maybe a month or two, but not 5 years. Okay? So now I'm assuming in the next couple of episodes, they're going to show you that he was with the Tusken Raiders for a few years, maybe 2 or 3 years, living within the land of them. Why he would stay with them that entire time without going back to a city or any way to try to find his ship or anything. Lots of questions I have, but we'll figure this out together as the episodes go by. So he gets dragged across, and then they come to an encampment where the Tusken Raiders are, and then the title sequence happens. He wakes up. He's tied to a log or a stick in the ground, or a tree, I guess. And there's a young Tusken Raider there, kind of like showing him, and they're speaking alien. They don't tell you what they're translating for because they didn't want to hurt the Tusken Raiders' feelings with the translation. They didn't want to diminish the Tusken Raider language. That's a joke if you followed me with Steven Spielberg. So the younglings, it looks like they're out there trying to become like adult Tusken Raiders, right? Like I feel like they're on a voyage of their own out there. The young kids are there, and they beat him up. It now goes another day. He's at the camp. He was in the pit for 1 or 2 weeks. The time jump, him being in the Raider camp waiting for Mando to show up, 1 to 2 weeks. But that doesn't make any sense because Mando takes place 5 years. 5 years after Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi is when he falls into the Sarlacc pit. So how long was he in the pit for? And then how long was he with the Tusken Raiders for up until Mando comes into this universe, right? As we know Mando today, right? 1 or 2 weeks doesn't make sense, the timeline. And as far as timelines goes, I'm a stickler for timelines because a lot of things happen in different, you want to know when it happens and exactly when it happens. So anyway, it's nighttime. And he's looking around and he sees one of the dogs. I don't know what that dog's name is. I forget what the hound is called or whatever. It's pretty cool special effects. I really like the way he looks. It's very cool. We saw them in Mando in season 2. You can see that Boba knows that the dog knows that he's trying to escape, and yet he doesn't try to stop. He's still trying to break away the bounds that he's in. I'd say a couple of hours, then spent the rest of the time with the Raiders. I think he was in the pit for at least a couple of days, I would say. Lucky. Oh, wrong dog. Yeah, it's Lucky from Hawkeye. So he starts to break his tether that he's tied up with. And then all of a sudden, the what is that alien called? I forget what the it's I forget what that the Greedo. What's that alien called? I forget what that alien's called. My mind is completely and utterly lost. I forget what the other alien was called. Chat, help me out here. Anyway, the other prisoner starts to scream to basically ruin his escape. And then all of a sudden, all the Tusken Raiders wake up. They start chasing him, and they hunt him down. He gets in a little fight, and then all of a sudden, it's a one-on-one showdown with one of the Tusken Raiders, who's probably the better fighter in the group. I'm okay with Boba Fett getting his ass kicked at this moment because he's not at full strength, right? He just got out of a pit. He's weak. He's not undernourished. He's just not at top strength, right? Thank you, Stealth. Appreciate that. Yeah, I can see that, Krebsy. I can see that. We agree, though, that I think Boba was in the pit for like 2 weeks, broke out of the pit and lost his armor, gets captured by the Raiders, and waits about 5 years for Mando to show up. Yeah, I'm going to say he was with him for like 3 or 4 years inside the thing. He was in there for maybe a couple of weeks, but that's exactly what I think. But obviously, what we've seen so far on the show, we haven't seen how long he's been with it. This is me just trying to figure out. So they show these Tusken Raiders, and it looks like you have like one chief Tusken Raider, you have like one warrior, and then the other ones are kind of just like trying to prove themselves as Tusken Raiders in this squad. So the one Raider steps up and they start fighting, and and Fett just gets his ass kicked. And in this moment, he doesn't have his armor. He doesn't have any of his weapons. He's still a good fighter, but he is not at 100%. So I was okay with him getting... And also, he's kind of holding back, right? He didn't want to hurt him. He didn't want to hurt the kid at the camp either, or the dog. He didn't want to kill the dog. He could have easily killed the guard dog. But he doesn't, right? So they capture him again. They drag his ass back, and then all of a sudden it comes back, and his henchman, is it pronounced Fennec? Yeah, it's Fennec. So Fennec wakes him up and says, "Boss, wake up." He woke up out of the bacta tank, and now we're back into present day where we've seen him through the Mandalorian show and whatnot. You see the bacta tank again. He gets out of the bacta tank, and they start to, there's people lining up to pay their respects and whatnot. So he sits on the throne where Jabba once sat, gets armored up, and then sits there in his full garb and starts to get, gifts from the locals. They bring him loot, they bring him, furs, they bring him a whole bunch of stuff. And then there's one Twi'lek that comes in, and it's the mayor's Twi'lek. Okay. And he comes in, and I thought this was a little weird that the way he was talking. I didn't like the guy, nothing personal. I just didn't like the Twi'lek that was talking, the mayor's henchman or whatever. He comes in, he says, "Apologies, no disrespect. I'm here to say welcome to the neighborhood," basically. And then he's waiting for Boba Fett to give him money. And he's like, "Hold up, that's not how this works." And then Fennec says, "Look, if Jabba was here, you'd be dead. He would have fed you to his animals, okay, to the Rancor." And so he says, "Oh, apologies, but just to let you guys know, because you're not giving me a thing, the mayor might pay you a different visit," or whatever, which we see later in the episode. Yeah, he walks out. Yeah, that's the thing for me, Stealth. Maybe that's why I didn't like him. That he was speaking just straight up English to us. He wasn't speaking in an alien language and then translating it for it. It was just kind of weird, right? Same thing that goes with the girl in the cantina later. So they make a statement that they want a protocol droid, so we'll probably get a protocol droid later on in the series to sit next to him on the throne so he can translate for him and whatnot. I think that's one of the reasons he spoke English, because if he didn't, and he didn't have a droid, you would have all these aliens speaking different things, and then you would think, well, does Boba Fett understand all these languages? And that would be pretty understandable that he would know all these different languages, but for some reason they chose to make him speak English, which is fine. Okay, so as he walks out, the next scene, basically, they make him... Oh, before I jump to the next scene, before they go to the city, they bring in a couple of henchmen from Jabba, right? He brings in the guards that were loyal to Jabba. I forget what these guys' names are. The green guys, the pigs. I forget what they are. I forget the guys' names off the top of my head. Chat, this is where you come in. So they're loyal. I thought this was a little weird, right? And Fennec says the same thing. She says this is a mistake. I feel like they're going to double cross him in some way, shape, or form down the line, even though they prove themselves worthy in this episode. I feel like even though they were loyal to Jabba and they were loyal to Tuna, right? I feel like they might still be loyal to Fett because he didn't kill them, and they know they could have died easily for Tuna. They were loyal to him, they were loyal to Jabba, and now they can be loyal to him. And it does pay off for him later in this episode. I did like the makeup. Gormorans, thank you very much, Stealth. I did like the makeup. Let me tell you, I love the attention to detail that Favreau and Rodriguez now for the directing. Favreau and Filoni. I love the attention to detail that they're doing with the Jabba's palace, the practical makeup. It's not special effects. It's not CGI on some of these characters. They're actually wearing the makeup that's on them. And I really I really appreciate that as a Star Wars fan and as a film maker myself. I really appreciate the time and the art that they put in to make this, because it makes the world feel more alive. It's not just CGI on CGI. Even the times they use the CGI, it's very like for the dog, right? The dog is CGI'd, but it looks good, right? It blends in well. It doesn't look so fake. They've done a really good job with that. So they go into time. They go into Mos Espa, and when they're there, they walk into a cantina. She says, as they're walking, you should have let me come in. I can collect the stuff for you. He's like, no, you should be carried. They should be carrying you in here, because I think Jabba would get carried because he was too fat to do anything himself, so he had to get carried. And that was because he was so heavy, then people respected him because he was getting carried. Fett says, I can walk with my own two legs, so he walks through. They show the cantina, and this place is popping. If you remember in Mando, when they went to the actual cantina there, it's completely dead. It looks completely different. They didn't allow droids back in the past, but now they do. There's droids actually working at the facility. This place is jamming. There's lots and lots of action going on. They're playing a lot of cards. If you notice, there's one of the robots that I noticed that's in there is one of the robots that I believe is the robot from Galaxy's Edge. It's like, I don't know if it's Robbie the Robot or something like that. He used to be in a cafe inside of Star Wars, right? And then he was a pilot for the Star Tours, and now they moved him somewhere else in Galaxy's Edge. I believe that's the robot that they showed. You got a couple other droids coming in. Again, love the attention to detail in this cantina. I wish there was a couple of more weird aliens in there. And I'm not talking about like I want the same ones from the other cantina, but I really like the atmosphere that they've set here. Lots of Twi'leks in here. And they come up and they said, "Hey, can I clean your helmet?" And Fennec's like, "No." And then he's like, "Yes." And they take it away and they clean. And then we have one of the Twi'leks come up, who's the club owner, okay, played by Jennifer Beals. And if you guys don't know Jennifer Beals, she was way back when. She played in, what's it called? Flashdance. She was in Flashdance. She was in the Book of Eli. She's been in a couple of different things. She's a good actress, been around. So she was one of the Twi'leks that was there. Soon as Fett introduces himself, she's like, "Oh," and she plays ball, right? She plays ball, and she's like, "Well, welcome." And she's like, "Oh, you took over for Jabba. You're always welcome here. This is yours." And then they hand him back his helmet full of money. Okay, he says, "I took over for Bib Fortuna," and again, she speaks English. It kind of bugged me a little bit because the Twi'leks don't really do that, but it's fine. It is what it is, right? So as he leaves, they're walking, they're having a conversation, and she's like, "I can do all this." He's like, "We have to make sure that, we're being respected or whatnot, and we and give protection," right? And he's building up his empire basically on his own, right? He's building up that his gang from the start, which is cool. I want to know what's going to happen though in 6 episodes. I don't think he's going to have a big enough army by the end of this. So she calls him Lord Fett. This is your establishment as well. And then he walks out. As we're walking down the street, all of a sudden there's these armed guards that come out, and obviously I would assume that these are from the mayor, okay? Because the mayor, they didn't get the money that they wanted, the protection money, so he's going out to make a statement to Fett saying, "This is my town, not yours. Since Jabba left and Fortuna got murdered by you, this is my division." So they send him out. Now, this is a nice close combat. They're getting their asses kicked, and he's taken a lot of ass whoopings so far in this episode. Obviously, the Tusken Raiders and stuff was earlier on. This is present day. where we left off. And I really like this close combat. These shields that they pulled out, I started laughing a little bit because when they held him up and he was trying to fend him off, it almost reminded me of the Matrix with Keanu doing this and doing this. So I thought it was pretty funny. Just something I thought was just, pretty stupid. But anyway, so as they're fighting, Fennec and him are getting pretty beat up, and then all of a sudden, the Gamorreans come in and start helping, start kicking ass. And I was like, oh, all right. So they stepped in. So now it's 4-on-6, I believe it was. And now the Gamorreans are actually good fighters, man. They're much more fit too. They're not as fat as they were in Return of the Jedi. That 5 years was really really nice to them. They went on a diet, and they could fight better. You can see him, Fett, getting electrocuted, taking on 2 guys at a time, really, really like taking a beating. But you can see that he's still tough. You know what I mean? He's not as young as he used to. He's not a spring chicken anymore, but he can still fight. Fennec is amazing. Do you guys know that she's like 57, 58 years old? Like in real life? And she looks fine. Okay, she's a gorgeous woman, and she can kick ass. I loved her in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I love her in anything she's been in. She's fantastic. I like the character, by the way. I think she's a good character. I think in one of these episodes, we'll see Fett come across her in season 1 of Mando, and what happens there when he finds her and brings her in. Okay, so I think that now what I thought was a little out of place, and maybe it's just me. Okay, maybe it's just me. But when they're running across the rooftops and they're doing the parkour stuff, now I understand parkour is not like just an Earthbound thing, okay? But it kind of took me out a little bit, because up until this point in the Jedi world, in the Star Wars universe, we've never really seen parkour take place in this universe, right? So when the guards were running across the rooftops, I was like, oh, this is cool. Right, they're like ninjas. They're doing parkour across the stuff, but it kind of took me out just a little bit, because I was like, oh, this is not Star Wars, but I don't hate it. But it did take me out a little bit, just like the Twi'leks and stuff like that. Right, hardcore, parkour. You know what I mean? It just seems. It just seems a little out of place for this. I'm okay. I'm okay with Fennec like chasing and doing that, but it feels like these guys are just like normal guards, right? They're for the mayor, and these guys were like trained ninjas and stuff, whatnot. So they're supposed to be like really skilled guys. Anyway, the chase scene was good. The action sequences are good so far. Fennec just leaps off a building. Now, if you see the building that she leaps off of, it's a good 2 to 3 stories tall when she takes that leap, and she falls fine and then gets back up on the rooftop faster than they can get around the corner. Thought that was a little weird, but hey, we'll let it slide. Then it comes to the 2v1. And she takes it out, and she's a really good fighter. She really is. And she does her own stunts for the most part. She did in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't know 100% if she did them here, but she does do a lot of her own stunts and whatnot. Even though she put a mask on, you don't know if it's her or not. But she fights him and then takes one back, for prisoners, so they can, find out questions and who he works for or whatnot. While she's chasing them, Fett says to his guards, "Hey, get me back to the bacta tank. Stat. I'm old. I need to get back there and heal." So he gets tossed back in the bacta tank, and then it cuts back to the Tusken Raider dream sequence that he has, and it's the next day. This whole process here I thought was a little weird, right? Because 2 prisoners get taken, picked up, and then taken with the young Tusken Raider. And the young Tusken Raider with 1 dog gets pulled out in the middle of the desert to find water, okay, per se. And I just thought it was weird. So this is why I thought maybe this was some sort of expedition to test the younglings there, okay, to test the younglings out as they're maybe growing into adulthood and giving them a test, right? That's maybe what it is. So his job was to keep these prisoners and try to find water out there. They come across a burning village, and when I first saw this, I was like, oh, are these the guys that killed Luke's, uncle and aunt? And yet they blamed it on the stormtroopers, and then I was like, "Nah, this is just like a more of a nod to that, right? It was supposed to make you think of the original, on Tatooine and Luke's situation, but it wasn't the people that did it. Obviously, the stormtroopers did that because they were looking for the droids. But you see that the gang, and obviously we're going to find out more about these guys. He's probably going to hunt them down. Later on in the episodes, they'll come across. I forget what the aliens are called there, but just the way that Fett was taking a gander at them when he was looking at them when they were putting the marks on the building, he was taking note, like, who are these guys? Because as the new lord of the area, he wants to know what competition or what gangs are in the area. So obviously he's taking mental notes of who these people are. From that point, they start digging for like these conchs underneath the ground because they have water. And when they find it, they find a creature underneath, which in the credits just says sand creature. So the sand creature comes up out of the ground and basically starts to murder everybody, right? Picks on the little kid, picks on the rodent, picks on Fett, getting their asses kicked. And then all of a sudden, Fett jumps on the back of the sand creature and starts to choke it to death, which is, as soon as he started choking with the chains, which I obviously knew he was going to do, I think all of us did, I was like, oh, that's a shout out back to Leia when she choked Jabba out, right? Obviously not the same, but it's a little Easter egg there, I believe, for that kind of scenario. Now, this creature kind of reminded me of the old movie. Oh God, what is that called? Titans. No, Clash of the Titans. Clash of the Titans. It reminded me of the Clash of the Titans creature, obviously on a smaller scale. If you've never seen that movie, classic movie. It reminded me of the Clash of the Titans. Okay. I thought the creature was cool looking. Obviously, CGI kind of stuck out a little too much because he was walking and whatnot. But I thought the whole battle sequence was pretty good. He starts manhandling Fett, and then Fett gets behind him and then really grabs that chain and does the whole little crossing across his arms to tighten it up and then kills him. Now, obviously, when they come running back, he saves the kid. And because he saves the kid and they walk back to the Tusken Raiders area, obviously the kid's above it. Like, before they go back to the camp, he takes out that big creature. And now the kid's standing there by himself like, well, he could kill me. So I'm going to let him drink some water and whatnot. So they walk back, go back to the thing, and he sees that the kid's holding the head of the creature, and he's telling stories, and everyone's congratulating him like he did it. And that's why I think this is more like an expedition for, like, sort of like what the Amish do, right? They grow out and before, when they hit a certain age, they go out and explore stuff. I feel like that's what this is. The chief comes over to Fett, doesn't say anything in any way, shape, or form, doesn't even look at him, just kind of holds out the water for him to give him, like, you've earned this. The appreciation type of stuff. Okay, he looks on, and then that's it. Then the credits roll, and that's the first episode of Boba Fett, the Book of Fett. Now, I have to say, was it a great episode? No, it wasn't a great episode. It was a filler episode, but it was a well-needed filler episode for what we're trying to do here, right? Because technically, this is Mando season 3, or technically 2.5, I guess you could say, with the series, because Fett came into season 2. This is the continuation because it literally starts off where it left off when we saw it in Mando season 2. Okay. So obviously Krebsy said something in the Discord earlier, and I said, yeah, Mando did a better job because it's a new character. They had to flush out the character. Fett is already a character known in the universe, so they had to fill in the gaps, right? And that's what they're doing right now. I said it over a year ago. I said that they have to show the Sarlacc pit. They have to show the reason he was with the Tusken Raiders. How did he get to this? How did he lose his armor? How did he get with the Tusken Raiders? How did he get out of the Sarlacc pit? All of these questions, they've pretty much answered the entire one. We saw him get out of the Sarlacc pit. We saw him lose his armor. Okay, that's how what's his name got his armor, just like he said he did. And then we see how he joined the Tusken Raiders. Now, going forward, if he does any kind of more flashbacks or whatnot, we'll see how long he has been with the Tusken Raiders. So it's going to be like flashback playing along. So we'll see him moving along as far as telling us what's happening in the present day and then telling us what happened to get to the point where we saw him up to the moment of where we saw him come in The Mandalorian. So obviously we'll see why he didn't go get his armor. Okay, from the sheriff. We're going to see him save Fennec, where she's bleeding out in the middle of the desert. We're going to see other certain things happening that they just the breadcrumb trail this entire time. And then by the season's end, we'll have a full answer of filling in the gaps of what happened in Mando 1 and 2 with him in the background, and then we'll have what he's doing right now, setting up Mando in season 3, right? So I thought it was a decent episode. I would give it like a 7 or an 8, I would say, out of 10. I think the big parts of it, showing us the past, kind of like fulfilled the destiny of what it was supposed to do. And now going forward, even though we know the bits and pieces of this moment, now they can start filling out the rest of the stuff. Krebsy says, insert not an hour long episode conversation here. Yeah, I still don't know why. I don't get it. I don't understand why they don't show. Well, look at all that catching up. Yeah, I don't understand why they do that they don't take the full hour. I feel like maybe they just don't have enough time to write the hour-long script. Okay, but I feel like they're missing the ball, man. I mean, you have, and I'll say this till I'm blue in the face, and I'll say this over and over, every series they do this with, they do it around 28 minutes, 38 minutes. Like, how long? This episode was 34 minutes with 4-minute credits, okay? They do this every single time. You could literally double the amount of this and tell more of a story and more dialogue or whatnot. There wasn't a lot of dialogue sequences in this, but I totally get it. It was more of a visual telling of what happened up to this point than it was a dialogue episode. The episode was 34 minutes. 34 minutes. It says it's 39 minutes or 38 minutes or whatever. 38 minutes and 57 seconds, but it's like 5-minute long credits. That's my biggest complaint with Disney Plus, is that the shows are too short for the amount of stuff. It's like, we don't want to give you an hour because you didn't pay for it. It's like, come on, dude. You have a captive audience here to tell us a good story, and they could fill that. They could fill that hour easily. Easily could fill that hour. So what did you guys think? What did you think? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you're watching this after the fact, let me know what you guys thought of the episode. Where would you rank this? Comparing it to Mando Season 1, Mando Season 2 beginning episodes, or just a standalone episode. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What do you guys think overall? Did you like the answers that they fill? Like the Sarlacc pit was the big one for me. And the Tusken Raiders was another big one for me. So I'm happy where they're going with it, with that right now. Now, I haven't seen any of the other previews or anything like that, so I don't know what the next preview. I didn't even really watch the trailers leading up to this. I might not. I am going to do a breakdown of the trailers that they show each week on this channel, Nerding with 30. So I thought overall, the episode was decent. I'll give it even a 7.5 out of 8. 7.58. it could have been better, but they did a lot of fan service for me, I guess. How many episodes are we getting? We're getting 7. We're getting 7 episodes. The first 2 episodes, maybe the first 3, I would think, are going to be the setup. Then you're going to get the next 3 are going to be like the setup. No, I'm sorry. The next 2. So the first 3 will be the setup of like bringing us up to speed. Episodes 4 and 5, I feel, are going to be setting up the antagonist in this show, and then episodes 6 and 7 are going to be like or 6 is going to be the cliffhanger, and then 7 is going to be the unclimactic ending that they've done in all the episodes. I have to say, Mando is probably the best ending of any of the series so far. Mando season 2. Krebsy says, as a newcomer, I think it would have been more helpful to give more background for Boba, like how he got into the pit. Some people got introduced to the character in Mando and don't know backstory. I see what you're saying there, Krebsy, as a newcomer, but at the same time, the movie still exists, right? If this is intriguing and you haven't seen Star Wars, you'd be like, well, how did he get there? Oh, well, go watch Return of the Jedi, right? It's there. But at the same time, they could have done exactly what you're saying, though. They could have taken just a split second to show him. I mean, they showed him when he was younger. Why did they show him when he was younger when his father's head got chopped off, right? That's what makes me think that Mace Windu somewhere down the line, maybe end credit type thing in season, at episode 7. They could have just showed him getting pushed into the Sarlacc pit from episode 6, right? That's all they had to do. Show him how he got there. Totally agree with that. So like Hawkeye? What do you mean like like Hawkeye? What do you mean by as far as the end credit sequence, sort of? Is that what you're talking about? I mean, when this series is over, I said last year, I was like, this is not taking the place of Mando. This is like it's standalone and it's going to go into Mando. So I thought the original plan last year, before they even told us the full-fledged of what this show was, I thought it was going to be Book of Boba Fett and then Mando after that. But Mando's not coming out until 2023 or end of 2022, early 2023. So we're going to wait another year after this series is over, or 10 months, 11 months, whatever it is. Why does Disney make these series so short? Lack of competent writers to make a normal length? Reese, I don't know if it's lack of competent writers. Let me see who wrote this. I think it's Rodriguez and... Let me see. Writers are Jon Favreau and George Lucas. So it's definitely not going to be lack of writers. I truly believe the reason they do this is because they're just trying to stretch out that buck. $15, $10 a month, whatever it is for Disney Plus. They give you basically a movie, right? They're giving you a movie across 6 weeks. So if they average 30, 40-minute episodes, let's just say one episode's like 50 minutes, one episode's 30 minutes. They're giving you an average of like 40 minutes, let's say, per episode by the end. Okay, so 7 episodes, you're going for about, let's see, hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Yeah, you're getting about a 3.5 to 4 hour length of content with the series, and they think that's what you're going to get your money's worth, right? $10. Yeah, I'm doing the same thing, Krebsy. This whole series is going to be a filler between Mando. It make you wonder what happens if Fett at the end of this just stays where he is. I mean, because he wants to be the lord of this area. So, like the episodes are set up. Yeah. So intro slash flashback, build up, bad guy. Then the last 2 episodes, showdown slash cliffhanger. Yes, exactly. Right. Now, I do believe that, look, this is on par with the Mando show. If you guys remember season 1 of the Mando, the first episode I liked, but at the same time was it was up in the air a little bit. We're like, I like what they're doing, but I don't know if this is good. So these are the pros that I liked about this. Obviously, the visual effects, the makeup, the writing was a little weak because there wasn't much writing going on in this episode besides like dialogue wise. So the acting, I don't want to say it was fantastic. It was good. Wasn't the best. You guys know that I've been talking about, I like good dialogue sequences and stuff like that give not just to talk, but good information. And there wasn't really any of that happening this episode. The fight scenes were good. I like the action of the fight scenes much better than Matrix. Matrix is what not to do for fight scenes. This is good fight scenes. The fight scenes that they did with when he was fighting the big sand creature, the fight scenes when he was fighting the one-on-one, and the fight scene when they were fighting against the guards. I think overall they've done a really good job. Now, some of the poor things in this, I don't like the theme music. Now, when Mando first started, I didn't know if I liked the theme music there either originally, but ba-da-da-da, 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 that catches, dun 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 dun, right? That Mando theme is like stuck in your head. Okay. This music, I don't really like it. I'm pretty sure it's the same. I'm going to assume it's the same person that created the music for Mando. I don't know the guy's name off the top of my head. Let me see here. Music by Lungwin. Is that the same guy? Yeah, that's the same guy. He did Mando, and now he's doing Boba Fett. He also worked on Black Panther and whatnot. So I'm not a big fan of it right now. It might grow on me a little bit when the next couple of episodes, but the music and the soundtrack during this episode wasn't a big thing for me. I'm not saying it was terrible. I'm just not saying it's great. Okay. But I have to put a pin in it and come back a couple episodes in and see if it grows on me. Agree. I was about to say dialogue would have been a good bonus. Yeah, there was no really good dialogue. The dialogue that they had at the throne and then in the cafe or when they were walking, there wasn't enough juicy bits inside the dialogue. The dialogue was like moving the story forward, but it wasn't like dialogue that you're like, oh, you know what I mean? Like it was filler dialogue. It wasn't story narrative moving forward dialogue type of stuff. No good bits of stuff that happened. Overall, I thought the camera work and I thought the lighting and the technology they use. I just love that whole video screen that they use is just amazing. The room is just amazing. Like I go back. I watched it twice today, right? I go back just to see if I can see that line. There's a line that you can see, like they're walking, and then you're like, that's the background, and there's like a dune in front of them, or there's like boxes in front of them, and what's there. I really just love the way they did it. The city was built. I really wish they had behind the scenes of each episode. Like they launched this on a Wednesday, and then like on Friday they launched like behind the scenes making of that episode. I would love if they did something like that, more behind the scenes stuff. I know a lot of people don't like that. I love that type of stuff. So all right, so now we're gonna open it up. If you guys have any questions or you guys want to have a talk or a conversation, maybe what happens in the future of this going forward, you can use our Discord. It's the same Discord that we use for 30 and Still Gaming. So Nerding with 30 is using the exact same one. If you want, you can go into the waiting room in our Discord. I did put, Krebsy, test it out because you are one of the mods. Put Discord, !Discord, and see if it pops up because I had to redo all the commands and whatnot for this. So, if you guys have any questions or anything like that in chat, you can put it. If you guys have theories or speculations going forward. Let me know what you guys think. If those of you watching after the fact, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If this is your first time here and you've made it through this part of the video, we're 55 minutes in, give it a like button. Give it a like, hit a like. This is a brand new channel. We're trying to build up the, please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done that already. So Discord is not working. Let me see if I can pop it open. Oh, it wasn't on. It wasn't on. Try again, please. Try again, please. Yeah, no, it wasn't on. I have to log out and log in with a completely different username for Nerding with 30. So I'm using the same program, but I had to remove all my elements and stuff over, and then I had to re-sign into that. If it doesn't work now, then it's boinked. It might take a couple of seconds or minutes, but the Streamlabs is a mod in here, so it should work. There it goes. So if you guys like to, let me just make sure that Discord is working. Go to website. Yeah, so it is working. So we also have other stuff as well. You can check out our website also. That's 30 and Still Gaming Live. 30 and Still Gaming.live. All of these episodes and stuff will be over there as well in one spot. That should work. If it doesn't work, I don't know what's happening. There we go. So you can find us there. If you would like to support us in any way, shape, or form, we do have a section that you can use Streamlabs. You can, because we are not monetized over on this channel, but if you do like the content and you would like to go above and beyond, above and beyond, beyond and above and beyond, you can use the tip page right there, the link down below, if you'd like to help us out here in any way, shape, or form. So, what do you guys have? What do you guys have? Any concerns? Do you like it? Do you not like it? I think overall, I think the series is going to be par. I think it's going to be par for the course. I think it's going to be another good Star Wars. There's going to be a lot of cameos, I think, in this. A lot of people that we don't know. As far as the theory of mine, again, this is just a theory based on the opening title or the opening sequence when they show him as young Boba. Okay, they show him as young Boba and they show him picking up his father's helmet. Why they showed that and they didn't show him falling into the Sarlacc pit is a little weird to me. I feel like they're missing. I feel like they're missing something there, or they're trying to tell us a little hint, right? Like I feel like Mace Windu is still. Again, there's theories out there that are obviously that he's dead. I don't believe he's dead. I believe that he's survived, and I feel like, obviously, do I think he's going to show his face in here? I don't think there's any confirmation or anything that would say otherwise that he would show, but. If there's a season 2 of this, what is that? What is Fett doing at this moment, right? What is his driving factor of happening? Okay, he worked for Jabba. Jabba's gone. He's taking over for Jabba. He wants revenge, obviously, off the Jedi. I don't think he knows that he's passed. Maybe he knows. Maybe he thought he died, and then he finds out maybe during this that there is a person that describes that looks like Mace Windu or whatnot. Maybe we get a messed up Mace Windu who's a hermit somewhere, right? Who knows? Who knows? That would be badass. Tell me that wouldn't be badass, chat. That, let's say the season finale All of a sudden, it's a one-on-one battle with Mace Windu and Boba Fett kills him. Right? I mean, come on. Be pretty good. It's all right, Krebsy. I appreciate it. Right? I feel that there's something down. Now, I don't know if there's going to be a season 2 of the Book of Boba Fett. Okay? But they started it off just like Mando. It's in chapters, right? This is chapter 1. Okay? So there might be a season 2. If it does well enough, you better believe they'll make a season 2 because it's more content, more Star Wars to crisscross and bring in and move people from this series over to the next series. To if a cool character comes across here, maybe they go across in Obi-Wan. Remember, okay, what's happening right now? What's happening right now? The way they're doing it in Book of Boba Fett with the flashback scenes going back to when he fell in and then going to present day, I feel is the same way they're going to do Obi-Wan. Same way they're going to do Obi-Wan. Okay? Evening Wonder Rose. I feel that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to 100% do little flashback sequences, show like the stories of what's happening when he first got to Tatooine, when he dropped off Luke, and him leaving Tatooine to go on other adventures or whatnot, and then coming back saying, look, I'm leaving. You got to watch the kid. Make sure he's safe. No one's going to... But he stays there for a reason, right? There's got to be a reason. So I think that'll be the same type of format. The jump back and forth between present day and past to show what type of things happen. Maybe Obi-Wan has nightmares of chopping off Anakin's legs or whatnot. Right? So I think going forward in this series, obviously I do know there's the mayor. I don't know what the mayor looks like or who it is. But the mayor is going to be a antagonist, but not the antagonist, right? I don't think he's going to be the big baddie at the end of episode 7. I think he's the midway type of character halfway through, or you're going to think that he's the big bad that we're looking at, but really we're not looking at him as the big bad. There's someone bigger and badder that's down the road, okay? And I think that's what's going to happen. I think there's going to be another character down the road. I think the mayor in this is going to be like Jack in Hawkeye type of thing, where he's going to be a bad guy, or maybe not a bad guy, but just a person that we're going to be interested in the series. But there's going to be another person that we don't know yet. Okay. And who that is, don't know yet. Maybe we get Bane, right? Is it Bane? Oh God. Why is my brain Cad Bane. Jesus. I like type it in. I'm like, maybe we get a Cad Bane cameo in this. This would be cool. If Cad Bane could come in to this, that would be interesting. Now, obviously, I don't know if he's alive. Would he be alive? Yes. Well, no, because that's the Clone Wars. Don't know if he's alive in this, but it would be interesting if he did. Krebsy says, I think knowing what is next with Star Wars limits the theories you can make. In the MCU, you can build theories off of future IPs like Multiverse of Madness and how they affects WandaVision. We know about Ahsoka and we know about Obi-Wan, but we don't know what story will be for those shows and how Book of Boba Fett can attach to it. 30 is still subconsciously boycotting Star Wars. I think you're right, Krebsy, by saying that they don't have the movies to attach to, but they do have the other shows that are coming out with, and those can crisscross back across. Like, they're making their own universe right now. They don't have the luxury of what Marvel has going on in the movies, but Star Wars does have lots of stuff to fill out here, which then can branch off into films from here if they do it correctly. Right? Like if the Ahsoka show comes out and they tie that with Rebels, okay, with Ezra and Thrawn, and then they make a Thrawn movie, okay, that would be huge, huge. Chat, don't be afraid to come out with theories and speculations, right? This is what it is. It's a conversation about Star Wars. Nothing is right or wrong. You can throw out crazy things, and the only thing that does is that we know, right? Because we're nerding out here, right? You're nerding with me, okay? Hence the channel name, Nerding with 30, okay? You come up with something, and then boom. You show it. Here, let me show you a clip. Let me show you a clip. Okay. This is okay. This is a sound bite. Okay. I don't know if I can bring it up. I don't have a screen to do it. I guess I could bring a display in. Let's see, display capture. All right, this is from December 22nd of 2020, and this is just a little bit. What did he do? Like I said, I think that this episode, not all 6 episodes, I think they're gonna sum it up in like 1 or 2 of the episodes of the 4. I think if it's a mini series, maybe they're a little longer. Maybe they're 40 minutes. Maybe it's an hour. Who knows? But if they're just a half hour, I see them doing kind of a flashback type of scene where he tells the story of like how did he escape, and they show him escaping from the Sarlacc pit and how he became part of the Tusken Raiders, and maybe do a little crossover of how he was hunting down the Mando when he came across Cobb Vanth, and then how they, you know what I mean, like just little pieces that cross into an overlap.
A Sarlacc pit explanation would be
absolutely
huge.
So that I guarantee you they're going to do that 100%, and then they'll move into what we see here. Like, what did he do right after he picked her up from the bridge, and then what adventure did they go on? Did they come directly here? Is this exactly moments days after? So I think that's what they're going to do. And then what did? So that was my prediction. Okay, that was my theory over a year ago. Okay. That was my prediction over a year ago. And it literally happened in episode 1. It's like I can almost write these things. Okay. And that was just based on looking at the end scene of him being in Jabba's palace. It's like, oh, it's a Boba Fett show. What's going to happen in Boba Fett? And I threw out my theory. Okay. You too could have a theory like that, and it can come back a year from now. It can come back next week. It can come back a year from now, right? Sean says, do you think Mando in the season finale, like we did with Boba Fett in Mando, do you think Mando in the season finale, like we got Boba Fett in Mando? Oh, like a setup for Mando? Here's me thinking, I would like to see 2 cutscenes, right? Obviously, I don't think they're going to do the cutscene, the end credit scene for Mando. I think Mando makes an appearance here at the end sometime. In some way, shape, or form, Mando comes in to kind of attach it to what's going on. He comes to him for advice or help or something along the lines of that. And then the end credit scene sets up a little bit more, maybe Ahsoka at the end of this one, right? I think the next series or an Obi-Wan type of thing, whatever the next show is, because when does Obi-Wan come out? Right? When does Obi-Wan air? Do we know the release date yet? It just says 2022. So it comes out next year, but we don't know when it comes out. So if it's the next show, then I think we get an end credit scene of Obi-Wan. I mean, Obi-Wan doesn't exist in this realm. He's dead in this realm. Okay, in this rendition right now, he's passed. He's gone. So they could give you a hint of something. Now, you know what? I take that back. It's definitely going to be Ahsoka. It's not going to be Obi-Wan. It's definitely going to be an Ahsoka connection, because they're not going to do an end scene clip of Obi-Wan, because Obi-Wan's a prequel to what's happening right now in Mando. Well, if they do Christmas for that, then Mando gets pushed back more. Mando, I think, is supposed to be in 2022, early 2023. The time slot that we're in right now, I believe, is for Mando next year. Krebsy, reminder, chat drives the show around here. Your theories can spawn someone to think about their own theory. Yes, absolutely. I appreciate you guys coming in and giving theories and speculations and talking. That's what this is about. That's what this is about. This with no knowledge of Bad Batch, right? I've only seen 3 episodes of Bad Batch. I don't know what's happening in Bad Batch. I should probably watch that, and it might open up my eyes a little bit more. I'm thinking Obi-Wan will be Christmas of 2022. I'm thinking, do we have a trailer of anything of the next episode? Probably not, right? They probably do that on Friday for next week? I haven't seen anything. I haven't watched any trailers for Book of Boba Fett or anything like that. So just moving forward, I do appreciate what Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are doing with the Star Wars shows. Again, is this like amazing content? No, it's not. Okay. I know what type of content this is. I know it's filler content. Like all of the Disney Plus shows, doesn't matter if it's Marvel or Star Wars, is filler content. Okay. Obviously, Mando took 2 seasons to get the answers that we saw when we first saw, Baby Yoda, when he put his finger out to him in season 1. It took 16 episodes to get to the point of closure. Right. So obviously there's no movie or anything like that. They're slowly building it up. So Mando's going to be in seasons 3 and 4. They're going to milk that for as much as they can. If they can make Book of Fett, seasons 2, 1 and 2, Obi-Wan could be the Chronicles of Obi-Wan. It's probably a one and done for Obi-Wan. Ahsoka could move into Rebels. You have Andor, which I'm not really excited for Andor's series, because to me, we already know he dies, so there's really no, excitement there, and he's not going to die in the show because we know when he dies in Rogue One. I think Jar Jar is going to show up, Misa back, and kill everyone. Well, I know you're joking, Reese, but he does still survive. Oh no, yeah, he's still alive during this time, because he does die in 7, 8, and 9, but that's after this anyway. He gets blown up on the planet. At least I think he dies in the planet that gets blown up. Ahsoka will get post-credit scene with Ahsoka walking up to the cloaked figure. Lightsaber turns on, and it's purple. Do you guys think I'm crazy to think that Mace Windu is not going to make an appearance or be brought up in any way, shape, or form? I mean, if anything, this would be the time, right? This would be the time, right? Mace killed Boba's father. This entire time, he's probably, he became who he became because of Mace Windu, right? If you watch the Clone Wars, you see how angry Boba Fett is as a kid, and how reckless he is, right? We think he gets blown up, but he's a Sith Lord, so you could pull and fly through space. Did you ever watch that theory? You probably have, Reese. I think it's funny as hell. And if you watch it after you see it move his hands and stuff in certain ways, and then shit happens at that time, which I thought was pretty funny. If you guys have never heard this theory of Jar Jar being a Sith Lord or Jedi powered, in Clone Wars, he gets blasted by the power of the Force. So to even put it more in out there in perspective, okay, he actually potentially has force powers because of the episode where he saves the queen in that episode in Clone Wars. Did you ever see Clone Wars, Reese? Did you ever see that episode? The Dark Sisters are doing a spell and they're collecting a whole bunch of force energy, and Jar Jar stops them, and the crystal explodes, right? And he pushes the queen out of the way, and he gets blasted. He gets blasted by the force energy, and it kind of, they leave it at that, but you don't know if he gets the power. What if the main Tusken Raider is actually Mace in disguise? No, I don't think they would go that far. I don't think they would go that far. I don't think they would go that far as Mace ending up on Tatooine and becoming a Tusken Raider. I mean, that's interesting though, Stealth. But I don't see it happening. One, because I know the actor. I've seen the actor that's playing Tusken Raider. Doesn't mean that's who would be if they take the mask off. But that would be a good theory. But I don't think they would put all Jedis like Obi-Wan and them all on one planet down the road. Maybe Mace is like, well, I heard Obi-Wan was hanging out here, so that's a good place to become a hermit. One, because it's plausible. Two, because it ticks Star Wars fans off. Oh no. See, if you're a Star Wars fan and you just don't think it's plausible at all, then those people didn't watch the Clone Wars. Because it's 100% plausible that he could be it. In the finale episode, Boba gets word that Mace is with Ahsoka and goes on a hunt. Boba shows up in Ahsoka episode 3 and fights Mace. I like where you're going there, Krebsy, but I don't think... I can see Ahsoka, if Mace is alive, okay? I can see Mace and Ahsoka meeting up at some point, but I don't know about that second part about Boba shows up and then fights Mace in that way, shape, or form. But I can see, let's say in season 2, okay, we're all just going off of a thing that you said here. So let's say this sets up Ahsoka. In Ahsoka, we know that it's in the same universe, obviously in the same timeline or whatever. And we introduce, because she's looking for and finds out that Mace is alive. It gets out that Mace Windu's alive. And then back in season 2, now Boba's heard that Mace Windu's out there and has to find him. Like, I could see something like that. Mace is presumed dead until Ahsoka finale when Grogu reaches out to Mace. That'd be interesting. I like these things. I like where you're going. Something along the lines, obviously, if Wolverine was here, he would be like, you guys are crazy. But I'm telling you, the one shot they did is when they showed Boba pick up his father's helmet in Geonosis. And you're like, why would they show that? Yes, I know it's a moment of like his dad got slaughtered, okay, and he's showing that. But it has no relevance because they don't show anything else, okay? Obviously, they're technically on the film side, there is nothing else, okay? It's just his father, and then there's the Clone Wars, so they're not going to show that. But they could have done something on top of that to, like, introduce something, right? But they show his father's head getting cut off, or they just show the helmet rolling, and that's still a moment in time that he's holding that anger inside, right? He's holding that moment where he couldn't do anything. And you have to admit, right? Wouldn't you look for the person that decapitated your father? Wouldn't you make it your life quest to try to get revenge for the injustice that your father, you killed my father with a sword and you just sliced his head off? I don't know. I feel like if anything, this would be the moment to hint. I'm not saying he's going to be in the show in any way, okay? Not yet anyway. But there's a moment there you're like, why would they show that with Boba? People thought we weren't going to get the scene with the Sarlacc pit, and here we are. Mando did it. Mando set it up. Boba answered the question. May shows up in the second to last episode, and the hunt is on. I feel someone's going to get a word of something. Someone finds the purple lightsaber, comes across it, offers him as a gift, something along the way. I don't know. I just feel. It's like a gut feeling. It's a gut feeling. Kind of weird that the show, that they show Kid Boba and then show Boba helping a child raider. I think the child raider loses his dad or family and connects more with Boba. Oh, and he brings him on as a Padawan type of things, right? Oh, well, that could be. Maybe the kid, maybe they grow up in the next 5 years and the kid's a little older. And then something happens, and when he left, he brings them up, or he knows somebody to answer questions. He has people out in the Tusken Raider family out there, right? I'm wondering if this is going to be a one and done show, or if I'll have more seasons. I think the answer lies if how popular it is. Stealth. I don't think they can just answer right now. This is a one and done. I think the actual answer is it popular? Can we make another one? Is it going to be Samuel L. Jackson, or are they going to pull a Morpheus? No, you know that Mace Windu, Samuel L. Jackson's coming back. Look, there's a tweet from Samuel L. Let's see. This was back in May 4th, I believe. He wore a shirt and a purple lightsaber, and in an interview, doesn't he say? Hold on, let me see. Over the years, Samuel L. Jackson's voiced his opinion that Mace Windu is still alive somewhere in the galaxy. In 2016, he took to Twitter to state that the Jedi can easily survive falling from great heights and that there's well-established history of one-armed Jedi characters, right? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, I know it's just Samuel L. Jackson talking on Twitter, but I thought of this shit way before he said it. Okay? And he's exactly right. Plausibility. And like Reese said, Star Wars fans get tweaked out about the theory of Jar Jar being a Sith Lord. They think it's just a joke, right? But if you watch the Clone Wars, you know it's plausible, okay? And Samuel L. Jackson knows it's plausible that Jedis have fallen from super high falls, okay? So much so that in the very first Clone Wars, the short that they made with the weird-looking animation, he literally leaps and flies like this huge length and then slams on the ground and like the whole fucking world just like, it's like an earthquake. Okay? It was badass. Okay? I saw a picture of Old Man Windu. Yeah, someone mocked it up. I think someone has a picture. They made it. Yeah, they show him like this. Where is he? There's a couple of pictures of him. Where he would be messed up, man. Right? Yeah, he would be messed up. He would have a scar. He would have lost his eye. He'd be one-handed. You know what I mean? Like this right here is obviously it's a fan art, right? He's torched, he's missing a hand, he's all messed up, but he's alive, right? He's alive, right? Plausible, man. It's plausible. Maybe we can get Dave Chappelle's version of Samuel L. Jackson. We know Star Wars got cut from the What If. So what if Doctor Strange shows up and keeps the What If cutscene alive? I don't think that's going to happen. But I appreciate the toss out there. Yeah, look, for every person that says that's, I'm going to laugh my ass off, right? Because remember, the people that said that Luke Skywalker wasn't coming to the series, there's no way they were going to do it. Boom. Okay. They said there's no way that was going to happen, and it happened. Okay. They said there's no way they were going to bring Ahsoka to live action. Bam. Ahsoka live action. Okay. They said there's no way. There's no way. Right? We're never going to get a Boba Fett show. Bam. Here we are. Might as well call this show the Mace Windu Conspiracy Hour. Maybe that's what we'll do. Here's one of the haters now of the Mace Windu theory. What's going on, Wolverine? I think it's plausible, but who I would like to see in this series, and I said it earlier, is Cad Bane. I would like to see Cad Bane, if Fett hires him out, or if someone else hires Cad Bane to come in to take him. And if we don't see Cad Bane in this series, it would be interesting to see Cad Bane inside of the Ahsoka series in some way, shape, or form. But I think that's putting too many characters into the Ahsoka series then, because if they bring in Sabine, if they bring in Ezra, if they bring in Thrawn, right, and they connect that to the Rebels series, that would be interesting. That's what I would like to see what happens. I wonder if they have. Hey, he's alive. We're going to see purple. There's definitely a lot of space that they could bring in. Who do you guys think, in any way, shape, or form, do they bring in? Because Rodriguez was talking about there's lots of cameos, I guess. Now, I don't know if he's just talking about famous people being characters in the world, or if there's Star Wars characters that are making an appearance in the series. Doctor Strange shows up. Nick and Mace have a convo. But you need to keep them far apart, because then it gets close to the world and the world ends. Yeah, they implode and a Starbucks appears in the middle of Tatooine. Yeah. Yeah, the Starbucks appears. All right, I'm looking forward. So in episode 2, let me see if I can make some predictions here. In episode 2, obviously, we're going to see more of the Tusken Raiders and how he's building a relationship up with the Tusken Raiders, and even more with the young Tusken Raider. Okay, we don't know the time frame. Of how long he was with the Tusken Raiders after he escaped from. But he's got to be with them for a while, and then once he becomes back to full strength again, my question is, why did he stay so long on Tatooine? Right? Why didn't he go get his ship? Maybe he does get his ship later down in like episodes 3 or 4. Why does he stay on that planet for as long as he does? Because we're assuming, just based off of Mando and what we saw, and then what we see in this series so far, that once he escaped from the Sarlacc pit, lost his armor, and then the Tusken Raiders bring him in, you would have to assume some couple of years have passed. But why does he stay there with him? Why doesn't he go back and get his ship? His ship is at somewhere on the planet, unless someone took it and put it in a you know what I mean? Put it somewhere. Yeah, Slave One was renamed as Boba's Starfighter or something like that. But we'll see what happens going forward. So I think the next episode will really flush out how long. I think we'll get some sort of time frame of how long he's been with them based on him working with the young Tusken Raider, right? You'll see the young Tusken Raider super young, and then you'll see him kind of get older, and that will be the time frame that how long he's been with them for. I mean, all the things I said last year with Mando when we were watching those episodes, and that one Tusken Raider was watching him, I was like, that's got to be Boba, and obviously it is at the time. Now we know, but just seeing certain things like that, it tells the story. It tells what's happening on the screen. My big character return will be Maul in Obi-Wan. Who do you think the big character is going to be in this series, Wolverine? Do you think there's going to be a big character? Do we see how the dumb sheriff gets Boba's armor, or is it too soon? I mean, basically, we already did. We already did, Stealth. They show the Jawas stripping Boba of his armor and putting it on the crawler. That's it. When he got the armor, he was on there. He tells the story. I ran out. He was in the middle of the desert. The Jawas found him. He wakes up. He sees the armor in the thing, and he barters for it. Right? Yeah, it was already told in this one. We didn't, and I remember having a conversation with Wolverine last year. I was like, how did he get the armor? Do we think he's lying? Do we think he's really got the armor that way? Why didn't Boba get the armor from him? We'll find out why he didn't take it from him. Okay. He probably didn't go back for the armor because he was content to where he was living with the Tusken Raiders. You know what I mean? He probably didn't just go back for it because he didn't know where it was until the moment it happened. So we know that the sheriff said how he got it, and now we know how Boba lost it, which was he was passed out in the desert and they stripped him of his armor. So that's it. They actually tell you. I don't think there's any more to that. My question is, why didn't he go get his armor from the sheriff? Right? Why didn't the Tusken Raiders just go get it? Or why didn't he go on his own and get it from the sheriff? My biggest thing right now, personally, in my opinion, is I want to know where the timeline stands. How long was he in the Sarlacc? I need to know the time frame. When he talks about it to someone, I thought you were dead. I heard you got eaten by the Sarlacc. Yeah, I was in there for, a couple days or a week or so, whatever. Like, I would like to know a time frame from there. And then obviously showing us him be with the Tusken Raiders. If the kid grows up to be a little older, the young Tusken, then we know how long he's been with that group. I think we'll 100% see Darth Maul and Obi-Wan. You might hear... I don't think so, because they finish Obi-Wan and Maul in Rebels. And up until that point, there was years that went by. After Maul gets killed, there's this whole long story with Maul. And then Obi-Wan doesn't see him until Maul finds him on Tatooine, and then they have a fight. That's canon. That's lore. So I don't know if we see Maul in Obi-Wan where they fight, because the next time we see each other is when they're older. Okay, and he sees him during Rebels, which is about 2 or 3 years before New Hope. Yeah, but do we believe his story about how he got it? I mean, it was a little weird the way he described the story, but we do know that the armor is in the Sandcrawler. So if he gets it in a way where he says it or gets it in a little different way, he doesn't get it from Boba. Boba doesn't give it to him. I mean, we saw how he loses the armor, and then we heard the story on how the sheriff gets the armor. What will the cute thing that replaces Grogu for Book of Boba Fett? Disney needs to milk the merch. It'll be a baby Tusken Raider. It'll be a youngling Tusken Raider. I have no idea. I'm reaching, but maybe all those old bounty hunters from Empire get wind that he's alive and Jabba is dead, so they all try to take what he has, possibly Boss Dengar, IG-88. Perhaps. Maybe they don't come for him in their own form. I can see what you're saying, Wolverine. Maybe just the mayor or somebody else sends people after him. Right? I'll just adjust it a little bit that way. I don't think they come because they want what he has. I think they come because they're bounty hunters and they're takes them out one by one type of thing. Maybe. I like that. I could see Han's Solo movie being tied to Obi-Wan because of how they showed Maul at the end. Yeah, I can see something along that. Like, maybe you see maybe not on screen, but a passing, maybe you see the Falcon in the background and you just know that Han's there. Because remember, Han's never seen Obi-Wan. He doesn't know who he is in the future. So if it's a prequel, you would assume that they've never crossed paths up until that point. I don't see Boba living after this show. Then who takes over as the gangster? Another Jabba? Who would that be? Lots of possibilities. I think Boba stays alive. He's got to go out in a cool way, not a punk ass way like he did when he fell down into the Sarlacc pit. He's got to go out. He's got to go out in a blaze, right? I don't think they kill Boba in this series. One, if the ratings are good, they want to keep it open ended. Where not even if they get a series 2, but bringing him and making another meetup with Mando, helping him out for something type of thing. Right? Because he gave his armor, Boba helped him with Grogu, now Mando needs more help, so he comes back to do a solid, and so on and so forth type of thing. Right? It's in Mando's court now. The owner of the bar and Fennec. The owner of the bar, the girl, the Twi'lek. The Twi'lek's name. Let's see. The Twi'lek's name is Garsa Fwip. Garsa Fwip. So, I don't know. Maybe. I don't see that happening. I think we see Boba as the leader of this thing for a bit. And maybe it's a one and done and it goes off to the side, and then we down the road with Ahsoka or Mando season 3 or 4, they check back in with Boba at that time. All right. Is this the right room for talking Boba Fett shit? Sure is, Sarge. Did you watch it? You didn't watch it. They finally answer the reason of how he got out of the Sarlacc pit, Sarge. Mace kills him in the final episode. Mace goes to Ahsoka to pay for his sins. If anything happens, Mace isn't going to kill Boba. That wouldn't happen. It'd be the opposite way around. If Mace did come back, Mace would get killed by Boba 100%. I'm really curious about season 3 of Mando. Like, what's going to be the point of the season? Is it just going to be about the black saber? Yeah, I think it's going to be with trying to do the black saber, get that all situated, because he's got the rightful owner of the throne now because he has the sword, right? And she can't take it from him. So there's going to be some turmoil there. If you mean Boba Fett, yes. If you mean Boba the drink, no. Yeah, the Boba. We're talking about Boba, the drink with the bubbles in it, the little capsules in there. Have so many questions for Mando 3. Yeah, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet. All right. If there's no other theories and questions on the show tonight, we'll end it there. I do appreciate everybody coming out and hanging out with us for this, the podcast of Boba Fett, episode 1. Next week, episode 2, Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. That's Boba. Yes, that's correct. We're live on Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern over here on Nerding with 30. I appreciate it. Is Gideon showing up in this show? I don't think so. Gideon might show up, obviously, where they left off. And again, where's the time frame, before I sign off here, what's the time frame of Mando at the end of Mando Season 3 and this? Right? When we watch Mando Season 3, is it going to rewind to the time that we're in right now, and then, like, what we're watching right now, this continues on the same time frame? Or is it past this, and then it starts, right? Because the last time we saw him was on that ship. So the next time we see them, you know what I mean? Where are they? You know, are they fighting? Do you know what I mean? Is there stuff that's going on? Like, what's happening with the crew? Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, we don't know when season 2 starts. Or I'm sorry, season 3 starts. Because where does Bo-Katan and him end up? They're at terms right there. Like, Mandalorian just wants to give the sword, but she can't take it. She's got to fight him. So there's got to be some sort of thing happening going on there. But that's a conversation for another week. I appreciate everyone coming out and watching. If you're new to this channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, you can become a member over on our other channel, 30 and Still Gaming, or you can tip using the tip through Streamlabs. We also do live streams Monday through Thursday on the 8s, 8 o'clock in the morning, over on Twitch and YouTube, 30 and Still Gaming. And we also do these type of streams at night. We'll have some gaming streams over our 30 and Still Gaming. We do movie review talks and discussions. We do trailer discussions and thoughts. We also do this channel. We do Endgame podcasts over here on Nerding with 30. We do the podcast of Boba Fett over here with Nerding with 30. And we also do a podcast tomorrow night Thursday night, Generation X Gaming, a weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories in the past week, and we rant along the way. That's over on 30 and Still Gaming. Make sure you're subscribed over on this channel. Make sure you're subscribed over on the other channel, and hit that notification so you know when we go live. And make sure you follow on our social media sites on Twitter. I did just create Nerding with 30 on Twitter, just for the to market this channel and whatnot. So I do appreciate you very much. It does help if you hit that subscribe and share, because we're trying to get back up to 1,000. We need to hit 1,000 subscribers so we can hit monetization. So again, I appreciate you all coming out, showing up, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning over on 30 and Still Gaming. You guys have a wonderful night, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.